Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Apocalypse. Madam, you don't want to become a monster, do you? Yang Heng travels through the Sakura Kingdom under the apocalypse. Wake up the enemy killing system at the beginning, and you can become stronger by killing enemies. Zombies, ghosts, mutants. And their wives and daughters. Tong Tong is just an upgrade experience. Wait, madam, you don't want to become a monster, do you? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. System Activation: Killing Zombies to Obtain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sakura Country. In August, the road was filled with hot and steaming heat, and the entire city was like a huge oven. In a dilapidated old residential area, in a small rental room, Yang Heng suddenly woke up, with scenes of a car accident still lingering in front of him. Amidst the rapid gasps, he touched his head to check if his body was intact. I wasn't killed by the collision. Yang Heng muttered to himself in confusion. The next moment, countless memories welled up in his mind. After finally calming down, Yang Heng's face went from confusion to shock and then to panic, and he quickly walked to the window to gaze at the outside world. The decaying corpses can be seen everywhere on the ground, the foul-smelling air permeates, and countless animals of different shapes are bowing their heads to nibble on them. Among them were a mouse with two faces, a wild dog with a split neck in the middle, and a zombie-like walking corpse. The zombie has no pupils, and its face is mostly covered in dried blood and the flesh of unknown animals. Its expression is dull, and it walks lifeless on the street. Yang Heng was originally a small employee in the 1990s, but on his way to work, he encountered a car accident and accidentally crossed over to this dead mansion in the Sakura country. Yes. Dead house. Looking at the mountains of garbage piled around, the moldy anime pillow has not been cleaned for a long time. Yang Heng's eyes twitched uncontrollably. According to the original owner's memory, there was a sudden change in the world 10 days ago. 90% of humans and animals become zombies. Most of the remaining humans also became their kind on the first night. At first, electronic products were still usable. The news on TV is all about this case. The government is cheering the people and saying that the military has already mobilized to build a safety zone. There will be rescue soon, rescuing the survivors in the city. But soon, the power system was completely paralyzed, and even the old battery radio could not receive any signal. As a dead mansion, the original owner would not go out unless necessary, so he managed to avoid a disaster at the beginning. Seeing the government say this on TV, coupled with the constant screams echoing outside, the original owner is even more unwilling to go out. Place all hope on the government. However, I haven't gone out yet, and my family's food reserves have been depleted. He successfully starved himself to death. During this period, the original owner also wanted to go outside several times to find some food, but as soon as he saw the zombies wandering in the hallway through his cat's eyes, he dispelled this idea. Afterwards, Yang Heng crossed over. Look at this useless body, even the physical fitness of an ordinary person is not as good, coupled with the weakness of not eating for a long time, it is estimated that there is no resistance ability when encountering zombies. Yang Heng let out a long sigh. He is really speechless. Are you going to starve to death as soon as you arrive? Also, what kind of cherry blossom country do you not know yourself? Pour nuclear wastewater into the sea and select a national goddess for the royal family's foolish son. More than 90% of humans become zombies, and the military may have been paralyzed from the beginning of the mutation. High officials themselves are mud bodhisattvas crossing the river. Will it be in vain to save you? Yang Heng never uses the greatest malice to speculate about others, but he really doesn't have a good impression of Sakura country. At this moment, a voice suddenly came to mind. Ding! The Doomsday killing system has been activated. Yang Heng widened his eyes. He read a lot of novels on weekdays, and soon understood what was going on. Just say it. How could there be no system after being reborn? System. Is it there? With Yang Heng's soft call, a semi-transparent panel appeared before his eyes. Host. Yang Heng, age. 23, power. 3.5, agile. 4, immunity. 4, exploration. 6, combat skill. 0, assignable attribute points. 0, note. The average strength agility of adult males is 5, while the average strength agility of the elderly is 4. See the end. Yang Hengang's excited mood was like being poured with a bucket of cold water. So, my current physical fitness is similar to that of an elderly person. Yang Heng couldn't help but mutter to himself. However, what is this probe about? Surprisingly, there are 6 points. Exploration should refer to the ability to detect danger in advance and observe details. Yang Heng immediately remembered that in the original owner's memory, he was still a cartoonist. Oh no, it stinks like drawing comics. On the messy desk and coffee table, there were all manuscripts. Most of them are books of popular anime in Sakura country. Yang Heng looked around a few times and suddenly felt a wave of nausea in his heart. This guy's sexual fetish is also quite unique, at least covering a wide range of areas. Yang Heng was not surprised that his combat skills were 0. After all, a dead mansion in the Sakura country is considered good if one's body is not completely destroyed. What else can one expect? As for assignable attribute points, this is a common term in game and novel systems. After a slight thought, Yang Heng roughly understood. Then he asked in his heart, system, how do you get assignable attribute points? The host only needs to kill the zombie to obtain attribute points, and the stronger the zombie, the more attribute points it will have. Upon hearing this, Yang Heng was overjoyed. Although my physical condition is not good now, I still have the chance to kill zombies if I think of a solution myself. And if you don't want to die, you must go out to search for food, which is inevitable to encounter along the way. The most frightening thing in the apocalypse is despair. In many zombie-themed movies that Yang Heng saw in his past life, there were people who fought to the death, struggled to survive, but committed suicide because they could not see hope. The apocalyptic enemy killing system. Yang Heng chuckled softly, this was his hope. Perhaps with this system, he could live better in this afterlife than in his past. And this is the cherry blossom country, encountering some inconspicuous people, Yang Heng killing him will not have any psychological burden. After being mentally prepared, he began to search for items in the room that could provide assistance. Wrench, this must be taken. It's an essential artifact for killing zombies. Wash basin. No, although it can effectively resist attacks, it will make it inconvenient for me to move. The airplane cup. Still made of silicone material, hold it, you can stuff it into the zombie's mouth at critical moments. Chapter 2. Neighbors, have they been regarded as objects of sexual desire? You are listening at novelfull.audio. After getting ready, Yang Heng began to recall the environment and layout of the house. The original owner's residence was a 6-story tube-shaped building. A very long public corridor, bounded by corridors, with symmetrically distributed rooms on both sides. His house is on the 2nd floor, with a dark green iron door outside the wooden door. There is a gap in the middle of the iron door, which allows you to observe the outside situation. And in the original owner's memory, he often heard the sound of walking outside the door. This indicates that there may still be a few zombies hovering in the corridor. We need to confirm first. This is the first step of action. Yang Heng cautiously opened the wooden door without making any sound. Then he extended the mirror in his hand through the gap of the iron door and began to observe the surroundings. I saw a woman's back in the mirror. When walking, the shoulders twitched and there were terrifying scars on the neck. This woman Yang Heng knows. He is a neighbor of the original owner and has been treated as a sexual object. If this dead house were to know that his perfect neighbor had become like this, he would probably be scared to pee on the spot. Yang Heng thought with disgust. Next, he began to slowly rotate the mirror. 1, 2. After observing, Yang Heng gently closed the wooden door. There are only 2 zombies, which means if he wants to quickly break out, he may only need to deal with 1 zombie in a short period of time. This is definitely good news. As long as he can pass through the staircase, Yang Heng can quickly reach the downstairs and get rid of them through the complex terrain of the urban village. As for jumping directly from the 2nd floor, the risk is too high. The risk of spraining his foot alone is too great for Yang Heng to bear, let alone the possibility of a direct fracture in this useless body. The next step he needs to do is to test the speed of detecting zombies. If the speed is not fast, Yang Heng's safety is greatly guaranteed. But the concept of speed is not clear, especially for insane and non-insane zombies. It is possible that Yang Heng was slow 1 second ago, and the next second he saw him faster than a cheetah. Then, he began to think about how to try to detect zombies at the fastest speed while avoiding exposure. Looking at the piles of zombies outside the window, Yang Heng frowned slightly. Throw something directly down. However, if a zombie's hearing or vision is very sensitive, there is a high probability that their position will be directly exposed. Unless the things thrown down have great attraction to them. Blood and meat. Yang Heng suddenly had inspiration in his heart. Quickly walk to the bathroom and use a small knife to cut a small scar on your arm. Hiss! Yang Heng took a deep breath of cold air. Cover the wound with toilet paper. Soon, the toilet paper was covered in blood and stuffed into a glass bottle by Yang Heng. In order to prevent insufficient blood smell, he reluctantly squeezed open the wound and dripped some blood into it. Slowly walking towards the window position, Yang Heng picked up the glass bottle and threw it vigorously outward. Bang! As the sound of the glass bottle shattering sounded, several zombies wandering below immediately looked in that direction. And the zombies in the distance reacted much slower. They forcefully raised their noses twice, clearly sniffing something. Yang Heng recorded this characteristic. Poor vision, hearing deviation, and good sense of smell. At the next moment, he saw the zombies going crazy, waving their hands in the air and shouting incessantly, running towards the blood-stained toilet paper. Isn't the speed too fast? It's slower than a normal person, probably only around 3 o'clock. Furthermore, with the difference in intelligence, even for the average person, it is not difficult to kill a zombie with just 1 click. As long as we can overcome the fear in our hearts. Yang Heng chuckled lightly. What is the fear of facing zombies to someone who has died once? He can do anything to survive. Immediately begin the next step of preparation. How to quickly leave the staircase or quickly kill one of the zombies. Alternatively, one of the 2 zombies outside the door could be lured away. From any perspective, the female neighbor of the original owner was the best target for Yang Heng to try out. Female, with a slender figure. She is destined to have weaker strength and speed than male zombies. Moreover, the female neighbor also had a terrifying wound on her neck. It was easy to break her neck with a wrench. The current goal is how to divert the other zombie away. The embryonic form of a plan quickly appeared in Yang Heng's mind. He slightly curled his lips and picked up the original owner's phone. Because electricity and internet were not available before, the original owner no longer used his phone. After 10 days of standby, there is still more than 10% of the battery remaining on it. He is going to call the resident in the stairway near the male zombie. First, lure away the male zombie and have a greater chance of killing the female neighbor. Yang Hengxian muted his phone. Enter the resident's mobile phone number. But there was no rush to call out. Then the discarded cardboard boxes were opened and made into thick shields, with wrenches and kitchen knives pinned around the waist to ensure that they could be pulled out in a timely manner. Slowly open the wooden door and observe the situation in the corridor again. This time, he was even more careful. Yang Heng remembered any obstacles on the ground in the hallway to the female neighbor's side. When the zombie on the other side hovered in the farthest direction, Yang Heng pointed and the phone's dialing interface quickly changed. From the reflection in the mirror, he saw that the male zombie clearly sensed something was wrong. He tilted his head in confusion and searched around. Slowly walked towards a house. Right now. Yang Heng quickly opened the anti-theft door. Crunch, the female neighbor suddenly turned her head towards this side. This is also the first time Yang Heng has seen the face of his female neighbor since crossing over. The originally cute and innocent face has now become twisted. While emitting a low roar, he charged towards Yang Heng. "Are you so excited to see me? Unfortunately, I'm not the original owner's dead mansion." Yang Heng silently recited a sentence in his heart. He needs to ensure that he can kill his female neighbor within 5 seconds so that he won't be surrounded. As his mood spun, Yang Heng burst out at the fastest speed he could reach. Woo woo, there are still dried bloodstains left at the corners of the female zombie's mouth. Yang Heng can even see those 2 big gray rabbits bouncing around. It's already within reach. Looking at the sharp nails of the other person, Yang Heng pounced and directly knocked the female neighbor out, pressing a thick cardboard shield under him. "Go to hell!" he shouted angrily. The kitchen knife was already aimed at the terrifying wound on the neck of the female neighbor. At the next moment, blood flew wildly. Ding! Host kills first-level zombies and gains 1 random attribute point *1, power +1. Chapter 3. Cleaning up zombies and collecting supplies. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the death of his female neighbor, Yang Heng didn't rush to touch the body. There is currently no power to manage system rewards. Because the male zombie on the other side of the corridor had already sensed something was wrong and was charging towards him. Yang Heng quickly stood up, thinking about how to deal with it. Bang! Good guy, the male zombie tripped over the corpse under his feet. Yang Heng blushed with sweat. But he didn't delay, took 3 steps and headed towards the male zombie. The easy resolution of his female neighbor greatly weakened his fear. He realized that this thing was not scary either, almost all of them were injured and their brains were not working properly. When the male zombie stood up, Yang Heng had already arrived in front of him. The shield blocked the bite, and with a wrench, it headed towards the male zombie Tianlingai. A muffled thud. The skull of the male zombie is torn apart. If a normal person were to suffer this, it would be a definite death. But Yang Heng did not take it lightly. In any zombie movie, the vitality of this thing is not ordinary tenacity. Quickly added a few more wrenches. Until the mechanical sound of the system reappears in the mind. Ding! Kill first-level zombies and obtain 1 random attribute point, continue to add some strength. Without hesitation, Yang Heng assigned attribute points to the strength column. Host. Yang Heng, age. 23, power. 5.5, agile. 4, immunity. 4, exploration. 6, combat skill. 0, assignable attribute points. 0, looking at the attribute panel, Yang Heng nodded in satisfaction. The strength reached 5.5, surpassing that of a normal adult male. This made it easier for him to face the zombies. Immediately after, Yang Heng began to look around. I noticed that although there were still many tightly closed doors on both sides, there were bursts of roars coming from inside. Even the iron fence doors on the staircase were sealed off. There are still many bloodstains on the door. Yang Heng speculated that this door should have been sealed when the survivors above were chased by zombies and fled downwards. It seems that there are still many zombies on the second floor. He couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. If these zombies break through the door but the stairway is locked, they will all gather in the corridor. Then the space he can operate is limited. It didn't take too long. Yang Heng carefully explored the inside of the house where the door was opened. He always puts a hammer on the body when he touches it, to confirm that they will not suddenly turn into zombies and bite themselves. After sweeping the first room, Yang Heng carried out a pile of food. Among them are rice, fast food products, and various snacks. Yang Heng did not touch food that is difficult to preserve, such as meat and eggs. After there was no electricity supply, the refrigerator was no longer functioning, and these things had long since smelled. He doesn't want to have stomach problems. Of course, Yang Heng also didn't let go of the seasonings and pots and pans. What surprised Yang Heng the most was a Marlboro cigarette. Take one when you're full, it's also an absolute hard currency in the apocalypse. Yang Heng was not in a hurry to explore other rooms. I first moved everything into my own room. The main purpose of his adventure this time is to first address his physical weakness and hunger. If he doesn't eat quickly, he's afraid he'll faint from hunger. Soon. Yang Heng, who was full of food and drink, called up the system panel again. Host. Yang Heng, age. 23, power. 6, agile. 4.5, immunity. 4, exploration. 6, combat skill. 0, assignable attribute points. 0, both strength and agility have increased by 0.5 again. People are like iron, rice is like steel. If you don't eat a meal, you'll be hungry and panicked. Yang Heng smacked his lips, not surprised by the improved attributes after eating enough. There are a total of 30 houses on the second floor, and the next goal is to clean up all the zombies and supplies here. While solving the problem of food and clothing in the early stage, enhance one's own strength. Ensuring one's own safety is the primary element of survival in any situation. As his strength increased, Yang Heng upgraded his shield again with a wooden board. After resting for a while, he began to clean up the remaining rooms one by one. For those who haven't locked the door, of course he goes in directly. For those who lock the door and don't want to be disturbed, Yang Heng will politely ask, "Is there anyone inside?" I checked the water meter. Yang Heng glanced at the door sign and knocked on the wooden door. Well, not at all. Yang Heng is not talking nonsense, he just knocked a wrench on the door lock. Tubular buildings are usually specifically designed for rent, and landlords do not use very good door locks. Repeatedly, you can easily knock off the door lock. 204205, There was no one in 2 consecutive rooms. Yang Heng murmured and carried the supplies back to the 206 door. Finally, when knocking on the door of room 206, the roar of zombies came from inside. Finally, there are zombies. Yang Heng's expression instantly became uplifted. Bringing all the supplies back to his room, he stood outside 206 with 2 fruit knives pinned to his waist, a wrench in hand, and an upgraded shield. Knock the door lock several times in a row. Then kick open the door with 1 foot. Immediately after, a zombie wearing a white vest appeared. This zombie has dark skin and well-developed muscles, clearly the kind that often does rough work. His gray eyes moved and he waved his slender nails towards Yang Heng's face. Looking at his thick arms, Yang Heng's heart tightened. Holding his shield up, the tremendous force instantly shook him back a few steps. Damn it! This guy is much stronger than the first 2. Yang Heng's thoughts were spinning rapidly. This zombie has no scars on its body, so it should have mutated directly as the end of the world approaches. Yang Heng flexibly bent his waist and back, once again avoiding the zombie's claws. Then exert force on your feet and give a sudden kick. Crashed into the arms of a zombie. Suddenly, the unique fishy smell from the zombie's body hit the face. But Yang Heng didn't panic. Seizing the opportunity, the wrench struck the zombie's knee hard. The zombie fell to the ground with a thud. Yang Heng immediately took out the fruit knife and inserted it straight into the neck behind the zombie. Perhaps it missed the crucial point. The zombie kept making a whooshing sound and opened its bloodthirsty mouth as it bit towards Yang Heng. Yang Heng remained calm and composed, twisting the fruit knife. The zombie suddenly collapsed weakly to the ground. Ding! Kill first-level zombies and obtain 1 random attribute point. Huh, I almost fell. Yang Hengchang breathed a sigh of relief. The weakness of the first 2 zombies still made him relax his guard. Returning to the room, he began to summarize the reasons for his near failure this time. Be careful next time. There are strengths and weaknesses among humans, and the same goes for zombies. First, let's recall from the original owner's memory that those residents who looked relatively thin and weak took action. How many people in the family must also be remembered clearly. If anyone enters and all 3 of them are zombies, then it's all over. If you can't be sure, put it last. If you have enough confidence, then go. Throughout the day, Yang Heng was frantically cleaning up the zombies on the 2nd floor. He didn't let go of any supplies, at least enough for him to eat and drink well for a while. Until the last zombie is killed. The system prompt sound has changed. Ding! Kill first-level zombies and gain experience points *1, kind reminder, every 5 experience points can be exchanged for 1 random attribute. He furrowed his brows slightly and pulled out the system panel. After observing for a while, Yang Heng confidently muttered to himself, I have raised all attributes to 20. Is this just a threshold? Now it's possible to kill 5 zombies in order to gain some assignable attributes. After thinking for a few seconds, Yang Heng became even more certain of his guess. The further down, it is estimated that more zombies will be needed to obtain attribute points. That's right. If there are no restrictions, the faster I kill myself, I estimate I can become Superman in a month. But my overall strength is several times that of an ordinary person now, and I don't have to worry about facing 5 or 6 zombies, it's enough to protect myself. Yang Heng rubbed his chin and glanced at the staircase. I don't know how many residents of Tongzi building there must be many zombies on top. It seems like we're going upstairs. Chapter 4. Maruki has fragrance, occupation. Young woman. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Bang. A mixture of red and white splashes. Yang Heng waved the baseball bat he had found in a room twice and smashed the head of the zombie in front of him. Ding. Kill 5 first-order zombies and obtain 1 random attribute point with the continuous enhancement of strength. Yang Heng's speed of killing zombies is also constantly increasing. I cleaned up from the 3rd floor to the 5th floor in just 2 days. The zombie who had to deal with it twice before was now killed in 1 blow. We will soon be able to clean up all the zombies here. Yang Heng nodded in satisfaction. He arrived at the 6th floor while thinking. The next moment, he paused in his footsteps. I saw it in the corridor on the 6th floor. A burly zombie, nearly 3 meters tall, slowly turned around, its skin as hard as the texture of wood. On the other side, the gray eyes of the zombie gently rolled, and their face had thick veins that were terrifying. It seems like Yang Heng is looking at him at the same time. He is also looking at Yang Heng. In that moment, Yang Heng suddenly recalled a joke from his past life. What are you looking at? What are you doing? Unfortunately, before Yang Heng could tell him this joke, the zombie had already rushed towards him. He didn't panic either, relying on his agility of up to 45 points, he dodged several times in a row. Only then did he realize. The zombie in front of me is much stronger than what I encountered before. But there is still some gap with him. Once again, Yang Heng swiftly dodged the zombie attack, circling behind him. The baseball bat made a whistling sound as it hit the back of the head. Bang! The zombie fell to the ground, carrying a large amount of dust. Not dead. Yo, I didn't see that the monster can resist. Yang Heng's mouth curled up and he swung continuously, but the zombie still couldn't avoid the fate of his cerebellum blossoming. Ding! Kill second-level zombies and receive special rewards, proficient in blunt weapons. Upon hearing this, Yang Heng widened his eyes. A lot of knowledge about blunt instruments comes to mind. Among them are the uses of weapons such as hammers, sticks, and even bricks. The improvement of combat skills can better help Yang Heng improve his strength than a few attributes, instantly taking him to the next level. Yang Heng is looking for a place to digest knowledge. Suddenly, the door of a room has opened. A couple walked out from inside. They are Junichi Kusama and Yuka Maruki, respectively. Both of them are executives from a small company in Sakura country, living a good life, and their families are also hoarding a lot of food. This has only supported from the mutation until now. Kusakami Jun is an orthodox Japanese with a short stature, while Maruki Yuka is quite good looking. Small and delicate facial features, a beautiful melon seed face, a tight top and jeans complement the body's curves, and the skin is smooth and tender. The slender and straight thighs make people reluctant to look away. Wrapped in short-heeled sandals, it is even smoother and more enticing. Compared to the pure and beautiful women that Yang Heng had seen in his past life, Maruki Yoshiang has a mature charm that is more attractive. Yang Heng looked over and when his gaze shifted to the woman, a semi-transparent screen appeared. Entry after entry appeared on the screen. Name: Maruki Yoshiang. Age: 33. Occupation: Young women. Rating: 93. Evaluation: Charm still lingers, best writing. At this moment, both of them had a green light in their eyes, staring straight at the supplies behind Yang Heng. Divide some of the food for us, said Maruki with fragrance. Chao Shangjuan also followed suit and said, yes, quickly distribute some food for us. We haven't eaten for several days. Are you talking about a hammer? Yang Heng frowned. He was speechless and had no intention of paying attention to these two people. After a few glances, he was ready to check the other uncleaned areas. Firstly, he lacks a favorable impression of the Sakura nation. Furthermore, this is the end of the world, and Yang Heng will not care about the lives of strangers. And what about mutual help and mutual assistance? Did you see them come to help when you were killing zombies yourself? Or did you share the food with me before? At this moment, when I finished killing the zombies and ran out, I shamelessly said what to share their food with. Yang Heng's heart was filled with disdain. Of course. As long as they don't provoke, Yang Heng won't kill them. *** people. Marubeni Yoshiang was stunned and suddenly became more arrogant. Ichi ordered him to say. *** people, give us food. These things don't belong to you. Get back to, lowly bastard, you don't deserve to enjoy the delicious food of Cherry Blossom Country. As a company executive, which man doesn't usually treat her with respect? As for Yang Heng, she is just a stinky loser. If it weren't for the end of the world, it would be impossible for such a person to talk to her. In addition, the abnormal workplace etiquette unique to Sakura country makes Maruki Yuka's attitude even more disdainful. She glanced at the dirty clothes on Yang Heng's body, and a clear disgust flashed in her eyes. With a condescending tone, she sneered. I advise you not to toast or refuse to eat, and to have a fine drink. Hand over all the food on your body. I can still spare your life. Chao Shangjuan directly took out his knife and threatened, hurry up and work. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Baga. Before he could finish speaking, the black shadow flashed by. The baseball bat hit Jun Kusunagi's chest with tremendous force, causing him to fly backwards. I bumped into the wall of the corridor and fell heavily to the ground. A large puddle of blood spurted out from the mouth. Yang Heng's eyes were cold, and he didn't want to pay attention before because he had to check for any missing zombies. But if these two people don't want face, there's nothing they can do. Because Yang Heng used a blunt weapon, Chao Shangjuan did not die directly, but judging from his listless appearance, he knew that death was not far away. Immediately afterwards, Yang Heng walked towards Maruki Yoshiang on the side. The latter never expected Yang Heng to be so decisive and take the initiative to kill, which startled him. She covered her mouth and opened her eyes wide, her body trembling like a sieve, and there was no way she had just stood tall. As the demon who killed without blinking approached, his voice couldn't help but tremble. You. Don't come over. Chapter 5. You. You devil. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Didn't you just say that I toasted, didn't I eat, and was fine? Why are you so scared now? Do you think I'm easier to bully than zombies? Yang Heng sneered and pointed his baseball bat at Maruki Yoshiang's shirt, saying, "Take off your clothes." What are you doing? Maruki Yuka curled up in a ball and looked at him in terror. I don't want to talk nonsense. Don't want to die, take off your clothes. As the words fell, Yang Heng swung his baseball bat downwards. Suddenly, countless small cracks appeared on the cement corridor. Maruki Yuka swallowed her saliva and stuttered, You demon. But when she saw Yang Heng's face becoming impatient, her heart immediately trembled and she hurriedly said. Don't kill me. The remaining words remained unspoken, perhaps due to anger in her heart, or perhaps due to her self-esteem in front of her husband. But her body is very honest, slowly just in front of Kusanagi Jun, who still has one breath left. A great war has begun. Half an hour later, the wind and rain gradually subsided. Yang Heng tidied up his clothes and looked at Chao Shangjuan, whose eyes were wide open and still cursing incessantly, with a hint of impatience flashing in his heart. Immediately, the wrist flipped and the baseball bat landed heavily on the flying canopy of the grass. Maruki Yuka, who was originally exhausted from being tossed and turned, was even more shocked and completely frightened when she saw this scene. Ding! Kill ordinary humans and gain experience points. Yang Heng pursed his lips. Surprisingly, killing ordinary people also has experience points. But just a little bit, it's really garbage. Is it not good to live? You must come and provoke me. Immediately, he sorted out the supplies, glanced at Maruki Yuka, and threw everything onto him. They are all my own spoils of war, take them home first before we talk. Get up. Take everything with you and come back with me. Yang Heng's cold voice rang out, and Maruki Yuka's body trembled with fear. After 2 seconds, Maruyuki had a fragrant scent before he realized it. The demon in front of me is unwilling to let go of me. At this moment, the resentment in my heart reached its peak, and tears kept pouring out of my eyes. I can see crystal clear tears at the corner of my eyes. She pointed to Yang Heng, her lips trembling with anger, and said, I won't go back with you. Yang Heng snorted coldly, completely indifferent. Give her a backhand slap on her soft flesh. After obtaining proficiency in blunt weapons, Yang Heng's control of power became more precise. Although this slap would make Maruki Yuka feel intense pain, it would not leave obvious scars or affect her movements. The latter suddenly exclaimed in surprise and stared at Yang Heng in embarrassment and anger. If you don't want to die, just treat me like a dog honestly. Yang Heng's cold voice was heard, and people had already strode towards other rooms. He disdains these two people very much. If it weren't for actively provoking oneself, how could we have ended up in such a situation? No matter how much resentment Maruki Yoshiang harbors in his heart, he can only keep up. All the supplies here have been cleared by Yang Heng and will continue to be left behind. Even if they are not killed by zombies, they will still starve to death. During this period, When Yang Heng saw the door, he kicked it in directly and hit the zombie one by one. We quickly arrived at the end of the corridor. Maruki Yuka, who followed behind, was shocked and speechless. This is the first time she has seen such a fierce person. It seems that those terrifying zombies are all toys in front of Yang Heng. No. This guy is not even human. He is a demon. Maruki Yuka's eyes were filled with deep-seated hatred. Yang Heng ahead certainly didn't know what Maruki Yoshiang was thinking, and he wouldn't care if he knew. If you dare not obey, then kill directly. System. Yang Heng sighed softly in his heart. Host. Yang Heng, age. 23, power. 30, agility. 25, immunity. 25, exploration. 25, combat skill. Mastery of blunt tools, assignable attribute points. 5. After randomly assigning all attribute points to Agile, Yang Heng began to contemplate the next plan. This building has almost been cleaned up. If you want to improve your strength, you can only go and see nearby tomorrow. My current strength is about 7 to 8 times that of a normal person. I should be able to kill 7 in and 7 out of the zombie swarm as long as I am not surrounded. Since knowing that zombies can also evolve, his need to enhance his strength has become even more urgent. What time is it now? Yang Heng spoke out without looking back. Upon hearing this, Maruki Yuka was taken aback for a moment. It took several seconds to realize that Yang Heng was asking himself, and a strong sense of humiliation surged in his heart. This demon really regards himself as his servant. No matter how angry she was in her heart, after witnessing Yang Heng's cruelty, she dared not show it. I had to forcefully calm my emotions and look at my watch with frustration, saying, at 5.30. Yang Heng nodded and casually said, it's almost time. Take your things and go home to cook for me. After eating fast food products and snacks for a few days, he is really tired of it. Okay. Maruki Yuka clenched her fist and kept repeating these 2 words. But in my heart, I was thinking about how to make this demon food poisoned and then retaliate back. These foods are also mine. Then he picked up all the things and struggled to follow behind Yang Heng. Yu Guang caught a glimpse of Maruki Yoshiang's anger, and Yang Heng disdainfully curled his lips and sneered in his heart. Yang Heng couldn't guess the idea of Maruki Yoshiang, but he trusted her with the food and naturally didn't worry about it. Leaving it aside, Yang Heng wouldn't let her poison at all. Just because you have immunity several times that of an ordinary person, you don't need to pay attention to ordinary poisons. Not to mention, having a fragrant meatball can at most lead to food poisoning. Return to the familiar rental house. After Yang Heng explained to Maruki Yoshiang a few words, he began to exercise on his own. Mainly familiarize oneself with one's proficiency in blunt instruments. Not long. Yang Heng looked at a table of food and couldn't help but furrow his brows. No, I asked you to cook. How did you get this thing on the table? I saw sushi, egg and milk pudding, miso soup, and cold vegetarian noodles on the table. Good guy, it's still a fast food product. The only miso soup is still brewed with hot water. Yes, is there any problem? I usually eat these things. Maruki Yoshiang was frightened by Yang Heng's tone and asked in fear. Ma Dan. Yang Heng couldn't help but curse in Mandarin and said. Forget that your Sakura country only eats these things, go get me some hot dishes, these are not enough to eat. After dinner, Yang Heng had enough to eat and drink. Lying on the sofa, he casually said to Maruki, go, wash yourself clean. Ah. Maruki Yoshiang trembled again. Ah, what? Since you are my spoils of war, it is only right to serve me. Chapter 6. Madam, if you want to survive, you must listen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Maruki has a fragrant scent, with 5 fingers clenching tightly, and nails deeply embedded in the flesh. She really wanted to question the demon in front of her. What kind of mentality was it that allowed her to speak such abnormal words with a nonchalant tone? But she dare not. Maruki Yuka could only respond with a slightly crying voice. Yes. From the initial resistance, to the later, good, and now to the present, yes. Yang Heng can clearly hear the other party's changes. It's just a few hours. It's really fast. Immediately after, Maruki Yoshiang walked step by step towards the bathroom under Yang Heng's gaze. A few short steps. It feels like she walked out to the execution ground. Yang Heng shook his head slightly, no longer caring. Continue to train yourself and become familiar with various weapons. After mastering blunt instruments, Yang Heng began to be dissatisfied with simple wrenches and baseball bats. I want to make my own weapon with strong killing power. The biggest disadvantage of blunt weapons is that they cannot sound like sharp weapons, and a single blow is fatal. Several times, Yang Heng had his head blown out, but the zombie could still hold on for a while. For example, the second order zombie encountered. The wolf tooth stick is good, but where can I find the materials? Yang Heng whispered to himself, and his gaze began to wander over the supplies he had brought back. Just as I scanned the dining table, his eyes paused. A sudden inspiration flashed through my mind. You can use a steel fork. Do whatever you say. Yang Heng immediately started collecting forks. In no time, more than 10 appeared in front of me. Among them, there are only 9 made of steel. But it's also enough. Immediately, Yang Heng bent the handle of the fork and tied it to the baseball bat with tape. Repeatedly, a wolf tooth stick made with a fork was quickly completed. Yang Heng excitedly waved a few waves. Even in the face of some rough and fleshy zombies, one can still kill them in one blow. At this moment, Yuka Maruki also walked out of the bathroom. Seeing the wolf tooth stick reflecting a bright white light, my fear of Yang Heng became even greater. If he were using this weapon this afternoon, my husband is probably going to die right away. Thinking of this, Maruki Yuka was suddenly startled. She was horrified to find that she had already begun to accept the fact that this demon had killed her husband. This is not a good omen. Maruki Yuka closed her eyes tightly and quickly shook her head, as if trying to drive this idea out of her mind. What are you doing? Be good and wait in bed. Yang Heng frowned and glanced at her, then walked into the bathroom himself. It's not for the next action, but because my body, which hasn't been washed for a few days, does smell a bit bad and always feels uncomfortable. After a simple rinse, Yang Heng walked out wearing only a pair of shorts. The once useless body, after being repeatedly strengthened by the system, appears incredibly robust. Wearing clothes to the fullest makes one look thin, and undressing makes one feel flesh. Perfect muscle lines, combined with the original owner's long absence from the house, result in already fair skin. The temptation and terrifying sexual tension towards the opposite sex have been witnessed at this moment. Maruki Yoshiang, who harbors resentment towards Yang Heng in his heart. When I saw this body, I was a bit stunned and couldn't help but feel waves in my heart. Damn it. Maruki Yuka closed her eyes tightly again. Yang Heng smiled slightly and saw that she had indeed listened to his words while waiting in bed. He was satisfied and said, "That's right. If you want to survive, you have to be obedient. I'll give you food and drink, and I don't care if you'll seek revenge. But all of this requires you to be obedient." The words fell. Not waiting for Maruki to refute, Yang Heng, like a starving tiger, flew to bed and began to enjoy. The next day, in the morning, Yang Heng glanced at Maruki Yoshiang, who was still asleep, and lightly kicked her with his foot. Seeing the other person's puzzled and confused expression, Yang Heng casually said, "Go prepare breakfast for me." Maruki Yoshiang stood up drowsily and walked towards the kitchen. When she thinks of what happened last night, she feels both shy and angry in her heart. And he gave himself a different feeling. It's something I haven't experienced from my husband before. Thinking of this, Maruki Yoshiang couldn't help but glance at Yang Heng from the corner of his eye. Seeing her robust muscles, her face turned slightly red and she quickly spat a few more before moving her gaze away. On the other side, Yang Heng, who was waiting for breakfast, was not idle either. After exercising to clear your mind, start thinking about what to do next. The zombies in this building have all been cleared, but their strength cannot remain stagnant. If you want to continue improving, you have to go hunting outside. But ensure your own safety. Firstly, of course, it is necessary to investigate the situation outside. As the original owner of the deceased mansion, I am not very clear about external information. So information collection is very important. Then let's add the probe to 30 o'clock first. Yang Heng has set his first goal. Whether it's observing the details of the environment or analyzing the strength of the enemy or ourselves, exploring and strengthening can have a significant impact on one's own survival. After breakfast, Yang Heng casually locked Maruki Yoshiang in the room and instructed not to think of running away. Then he walked out of the tube building with his new weapon, the Wolf Tooth Club. Because the mutation occurred during working hours, there were very few zombies near residential buildings. Yang Heng can only clean up some small shrimps wandering around. Finally enough. Yang Heng lifted the wolf tooth stick. With the sound of the zombie falling heavily to the ground. Ding! Kill first level zombies and gain experience points *1, all assigned to exploration. Yang Heng silently recited in his heart. The next moment. Ding! Congratulations to the host for unlocking the special effect of exploration, Encyclopedia Doomsday. Encyclopedia of the Apocalypse. What thing? Yang Heng muttered to himself in confusion. But the next moment, he understood. A few words appeared on the head of a zombie rushing towards him. Ordinary zombies. Level. First level. Introduction. Products after the outbreak of the apocalyptic virus. Special ability. None. Evaluation. A zombie without any threat. Yang Heng widened his eyes and stared straight at the zombie, as if looking at a stunning beauty. Be good. This special effect is too awesome. It's truly a cheating tool. Amidst several screams of surprise, Yang Heng quickly approached the zombie, but did not attack, only dodged. He looked back and forth at the entries that appeared on the zombie's head several times. He waved his wolf tooth stick with a lingering desire. You should know that adding probing to 30 points can trigger additional effects, and I have already added it. Yang Heng smashed his mouth and said, so it seems that adding points to other abilities can also trigger special effects. At this point, his idea of improving his strength is even more urgent. Unfortunately, after scanning back and forth several times, Yang Heng never saw a zombie again. No way. This aimless killing of zombies has a terrible effect. Even if we clean up a few more residential buildings, we won't get many attribute points. Yang Heng walked out while thinking. Soon. He came to an office building. According to the original owner's memory, there are usually several thousand people working. Thousands of people. There should be quite a few zombies, right? Yang Heng rubbed his chin and walked in with his foot raised. Get ready to try your luck. Division line. I hope your favorite brothers can support me and give me some confidence. Please. Looking for flower evaluation tickets. If you have money, you can also urge for change tickets or give tips. Please brothers. Don't worry about this book. Don't abuse the Lord. No, Our Lady. Ding Shuang. Everyone understands about female roles. Hope your favorite brothers can support you a lot. Another 1,000 flowers will bloom, and the author will immediately surpass 3 chapters. 200 more reviews and 3 more chapters. Rewards and reminders are equally explosive. 1 reward, 1 chapter. 1 reminder, 1 chapter. If the flowers rise again and again, there will be rewards and reminders. From now on, the author guarantees to make 10 changes every day. As long as the data meets the standards, it will continue to be updated until all 50 chapters have been updated. Chapter 7. Mature and Intellectual Big Sister, Thousand Island Sprout. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Yang Heng, who was about to lift his foot into it, suddenly had a slight movement in his ears. He heard a woman's cry for help coming out. Looking at a window on the 3rd floor in confusion. A figure behind the mirror waved at him. Although Yang Heng was not interested in saving people, he still decided to go up and take a look. The office buildings are filled with various companies with complex layouts. Not long after, he came to the door of a boss's office, where the safety iron door alone looked much more imposing than other offices. Yang Heng kicked open the iron door. I saw a woman wearing a white collar sitting inside. The woman is very haggard, and the sofa under her buttocks has a deep depression. It seems that she has been trapped here for quite some time. The white uniform showcases a woman's strengths with exquisite detail, and under the buttocks skirt are long legs wrapped in black silk. Shilong slender legs, devilish figure, charming and charming. It is estimated that I have been trapped in the office for a long time, and the long agony has made that beautiful melon seed face and bright and lively eyes appear even more pitiful. The attire of a strong woman in the workplace, paired with a pitiful temperament, creates a strong contrast that makes one full of conquering desire. Yang Heng's gaze fell on her, and each entry appeared. Name. Qiandao Yai. Age. 26. Occupation. White-collar workers rating. 94. Review. Mature and intellectual. A big sister who leads the family, sexy and charming, but also possesses an intellectual aura. Not bad, young man. Excellent oral skills. Warm and soft like jade, flexible and jumping off, gently stirring can make the dragon submit. Madonna bitch. The Madonna of the apocalypse, selfish and despicable, this is a typical lack of education for teenagers. Yang Heng's eyes twitched slightly, this dog system is a bit inappropriate. What is first-class oral skills? Forget it, I'm not a serious person either. As for the virgin bitch. Yang Heng's mouth curved slightly, and the most important thing in the apocalypse is to learn a lesson. The person who needed to be taught a lesson from the past is still more obedient than a dog. Just as Yang Heng was scrutinizing Qiandao Yai was also scrutinizing him. His eyes were filled with surprise and joy. Chikushima Yai has been living off some snacks and drinking water in the office these days. Plus, she usually has a small appetite and only eats a little cookies and chocolate every day, hoping to wait for rescue. As food became scarce and there was no news of the government's rescue efforts, Chikushima Yai became increasingly desperate. I risked being found by zombies and shouted for help outside. Fortunately, someone actually heard it. And before the zombies are found here. She is about to speak. Suddenly, I heard a violent commotion nearby. Yang Heng frowned and just turned his head. I saw a zombie already breaking through the people in the neighboring office, rushing towards me at an extremely fast speed. How could this zombie sneak attack? Yang Heng was startled, but his movements did not delay at all. With a sudden surge of force from his ankle, he moved several meters sideways towards his side and dodged the attack. The smoke and dust dispersed, and as Yang Heng lifted his eyes lightly, he finally saw the appearance of this zombie clearly. Unlike yesterday's second-order zombie, this zombie has a very slim and small body. Standing straight is only a meager 1.5 meters high. Wearing only a pair of shorts, through the grayish-white skin, even the ribs inside can be clearly seen. Just as Yang Heng was slightly puzzled, the effect of the Encyclopedia of the Apocalypse was activated. Mutant Zombies Level. Second Order Introduction. A brain variant of a second-order ordinary zombie with a certain level of intelligence. Special ability. Hunter, adept at using the environment to hide oneself and delivering a fatal blow to prey at critical moments. Evaluation. A primary variant with certain threats. It is indeed a second-order zombie. It looks different from yesterday's zombie mutation direction. Yang Heng nodded lightly. Surprisingly, there is a special ability, which seems to be slightly stronger than yesterday's second-level zombies. But since this zombie is a brain variant, it is destined that its power will not be too strong. After looking at the cracks on the ground, Yang Heng was even more certain of his guess. This should be its full force strike, which looks like only 10 points of strength. This is the power of exploration ability. In just a blink of an eye, Yang Heng had basically figured out the strength of this second-order zombie. Ah! A scream rang out. At this moment, Qiandao Yai finally saw clearly that a zombie had arrived. Instantly frightened and trembling all over, he quickly ran behind Yang Heng. Let's run quickly. Although Qijima Yai has been hiding in the office without going out, she has also seen scenes of her colleague being brutally killed by zombies and biting her throat. Especially when she looked out the window and saw the humans on the street being devoured by zombies, her fear of these monsters reached its peak. At this moment, Qiandao Yai is full of regret. You shouldn't shout for help loudly. She would rather starve to death than be eaten by such a terrifying monster. Yang Heng looked behind him speechlessly, only saying a faint sentence. If you want to run, just run. Upon hearing this, Qiandao Yai was taken aback and even saw the man in front of her showing off his strength. How could humans be opponents of monsters? Immediately, Qiandao Yai prepared to persuade. But before she could say it, she saw the man in front of her rushing out. Charge towards that thin and weak zombie. Unlike Qiandao Yai's fear, Yang Heng's heart is now filled with excitement. He even had a vague expectation. The last time I killed a second-level zombie, I gave it to a blunt weapon expert. What will be given this time? Yang Heng's mind was spinning rapidly, and his wolf-tooth stick was already waving in the air, ready to deal with the next action of the second-order zombie at any time. But this second-order zombie has no sign of continuing the battle. Seeing him chasing after me, I ran straight away. Yang Heng's eyes twitched. What is it to run away after a surprise attack? This is not a brain mutation, is it? Should it be a cerebellar mutation? In his heart, he murmured a few words in silence. Yang Heng kept on chasing after him. With an agility of up to 30, he can easily defeat these second-order zombies. Bang! With a muffled sound, the second-order cerebellar zombie fell to the ground. Chapter 8. The Inherent Skills of the Holy Mother Bitch. Seeking Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding. Kill second-level zombies and obtain 1 random attribute point, ding. The host has killed a total of 100 zombies, unlocked the achievement of 100 corpse slash, and triggered additional rewards. With the sound of mechanical prompts in his mind, Yang Heng's mind was shaken. Extra rewards. Produced by traditional systems, it must be a masterpiece. I don't know what it is. Yang Heng felt that his backpack was heavy and there was something inside. Quickly open it for inspection. Electric baton, this is a great thing to fight against zombies. Chocolate, military compressed biscuits. TSK, there are actually fishing nets, socks, and blood droplets. Yang Heng was shocked. After checking several times, I could only silently add a sentence in my heart. The system produces high-quality products. However, it's true that this system is not working properly. Immediately ignore the zombies. Looking at Qiandao Yai standing in the same place, at a loss. Actually, Yang Heng was always very strange just now. Why did the second order mutated zombie not choose the Thousand Island Sprout as its target? If the target is her, she probably succeeded many times. It seems that I have an inexplicable attraction to that zombie. Can it see that my threat is quite significant? After solving me, does it believe that even if it were exposed, it could easily take down Qiandao Yai? It's more likely that it had already set its sights on Chijima Yai and didn't take action, just using her as bait. Yang Heng pondered for 2 seconds and felt that the latter possibility was even greater. But no more entanglement. Start organizing your extra rewards. Perhaps shocked by the powerful strength displayed by the man in front of her, Chijima Yai's extremely fearful heart slowly calmed down. She looked at Yang Heng in surprise and said, "You're really amazing. You managed to solve the zombies alone." Yang Heng glanced at her. There is no expression on the face. He has long passed the age when he lost himself after being praised by a beautiful woman. "Why didn't you run?" Yang Heng asked casually. "I don't know where to escape. Perhaps it's safer here than elsewhere. So I stayed by your side." Qiandao Yai's face turned slightly red. "I'm very hungry, I haven't eaten for several days. It's very dangerous here. Please take me away quickly. I really need to find something to eat." She's talking about her inner thoughts. Shouldn't men protect women? And it's normal for a beautiful girl like herself to be protected by boys. Before the end of the world, I was surrounded by stars and protected in the palm of my hand. But this is destined to be her wishful thinking. Without waiting for Qiandao Yai to continue expressing her thoughts, Yang Heng quickly waved his hand and felt a slight toothache. "No, why do you think I will take you away? And why should I protect you and give you food?" Looking at the other person's incredulous gaze, Yang Heng said mercilessly, "You are just a burden by my side." This statement is true. Although he can easily deal with second-order zombies, it does not mean that his life is not in danger. After speaking, he planned to leave. Yang Heng didn't forget the system's reminder. What is the most terrifying thing in the apocalypse? The Virgin Mary is definitely among the top. Ignoring objective facts, sacrificing the interests of teammates to achieve what one considers love in their heart. Or, to put it another way, for the sake of self-proclaimed kindness. It's ridiculous that she still doesn't know if others will recognize her kindness. Morally kidnapping others without danger. Encountering danger and pretending to be pitiful, running faster than anyone when trying to escape. Choosing such a person as a teammate, a slight carelessness may lead to the complete annihilation of one's own team. In the apocalypse, these people live purely for the sake of disgust. Say it again. Why does Yang Heng protect her? Watching Yang Heng turn around and leave, Qiandao Yai's expression froze. She didn't understand why Yang Heng said that. Quickly stopped in front of Yang Heng. "We are all humans, aren't we supposed to help each other in the apocalypse?" said Li Ziqi confidently. "Are you still considered a man? As a big man, it's not always natural to protect girls and the weak. You can't be so selfish. Since you have the ability to help others, why not do it? So if I leave you here as a woman, won't you feel uneasy inside?" Seeing Qiandao Yai speak more and more vigorously, she even began to criticize herself. Yang Heng's heart became increasingly nauseous. Is this the inherent skill of the Holy Mother bitch? Just when we first met, we took it for granted to morally kidnap others. With a pause in his footsteps, he turned around and walked towards Qiandao Yai. The latter, upon seeing the situation, even assumed that Yang Heng was going to change his mind and be willing to take care of himself. Immediately speak with joy. That's right. Today you helped me not only for me, but also for you. I haven't finished speaking yet. A crisp sound sounded. Pop. Qiandao Yai caressed her fiery face and opened her eyes wide. You, dare you hit me? Qiandao Yai was so angry that her body kept trembling. She has been from a well-off family since childhood, and her academic performance is also good. Not to mention a stranger man, even his parents have never beaten or scolded him. Later on, there was no shortage of male pursuers in both school and work. As soon as she entered the workplace, she was promoted to the position of CEO secretary by her boss, and even some senior colleagues showed great respect to her. No one has ever dared to treat her like this. Qiandao Yai couldn't resist anymore, covering her face and shouting loudly, "You selfish and cold-blooded person, what qualifications do you have to hit me?" Yang Heng's eyes became increasingly cold. It seems that the woman from the Sakura country in front of her is shameless. As the system says, there is a lack of education. Immediately grab the other person's collar and lift her up. Silent for a few seconds, Yang Heng looked at Qiandao Yai's pretty face, which turned red from gasping for breath. His tone was full of murderous intent, saying, "Put away your ridiculous thoughts, this is the end of the world, it's hell, not heaven. If I like to save you, then go save it. I'm not your parents, or those licking dogs. If you dare to bark again, I'll kill you." Speaking, Yang Heng reached out and pointed to the zombie next to him with a blossoming head. "I can guarantee that your fate will only be worse than it." The words fell. Yang Heng no longer looked at her with resentful and fearful eyes, let go of his hand, and let the other person fall to the ground. "Pick up your things again, turn around and stride towards the door." Anger and fear occupied the rationality of Qijima Yai. She collapsed to the ground. Whispering incessantly, tears flickered in the beautiful apricot's eyes. Just now she had no doubt that if she dared to say one more word, Yang Heng would mercilessly kill her. "Yang Hengang has just left the office. I didn't take 2 steps, just heard another voice coming from behind." Chapter 9. Seeking People. Have a seeking attitude. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yang Heng stopped in his tracks. Just as he was about to impatiently turn his head, he realized that the sound was not from Chikushima Yai. It's the knocking sound coming from upstairs. With a loud bang, the ceiling was smashed through. Countless shattered cement and bricks fell, and dust filled the office. Yang Heng frowned slightly and gazed intently. It's a zombie nearly 3 meters tall. The muscles on the body are bulging, and the veins inside the grayish-white skin are terrifying like coiled dragons. The huge mouth cracked open all the way to the base of the ear, revealing rows of sharp teeth resembling those of a shark. Mutant Zombies Level. 2nd Level. Introduction. A body-like variant of a second-order ordinary zombie, with strong destructive power but slow movement. Special ability. None. Evaluation. Primary variance with certain threats. Yang Hengel was overjoyed. It seems that he had good luck today, encountering 2 second-order zombies in a row. And this guy is slow to move and doesn't have any special abilities, much easier to deal with than the zombie with a brain mutation just now. The next moment, the muscular zombie stomped and countless pieces of debris fell. It jumped down from the hole. The entire tall and ferocious body appeared in front of the two. Seeing this scene, Qiandao Yai was immediately stunned. She doesn't have an apocalyptic encyclopedia, but from her physical appearance, this big guy is much more terrifying than other zombies. The body that collapsed on the ground suddenly curled up. Shoulders kept shaking, but screams seemed to pierce through the clouds, resounding throughout the entire office building. And, while shouting, he looked at Yang Heng in despair and helplessness. Everyone can read the emotions of Qijima Yai from it. As if shouting non-stop. "Help me! Help me! Show Yang Heng the joy directly." Wasn't it quite easy to install just now? Yang Heng secretly pursed his lips in his heart, with no intention of going up to help. He wants to kill zombies to upgrade, that's right. When the zombie kills this disgusting woman, he will have a lot of experience dealing with the zombie again. Why not do it? The unpleasant emotions dissipated in this moment. Just now, he said that he is both selfish and sneering, using the statement that men should protect women in moral kidnapping. Now Yang Heng just won't come up and help. He wants to see how this woman continues to pretend. Seeing the situation, Qian Dao Yai felt a lot of frustration in her heart. Even now, she still believes that she is not wrong. What's wrong is the cold-blooded and selfish humanity in front of us. Qian Dao Yai recalled the scene where she had just been threatened and felt even more resentful in her heart. No. He doesn't deserve to be called a human at all. It's just a monster, a pervert. After the second order muscle zombie got up from the ground, it turned its neck twice. Looking at Yang Heng and then at Qian Dao Yai, it seemed as if he was selecting prey. Quickly, it locked onto Qian Dao Yai, who was only a dozen meters away from it. Bang! 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 Heavy and slow footsteps sounded. It's like stepping on the heart of Chikushima Yaki, the sound of a funeral bell ringing in the brain. Announce that she will soon die. Is it about to end? Tears welled up from my eyes once again. Qian Dao Yai thought a lot in just a few seconds. My happy life before the end of the world, praise from classmates and teachers, encouragement from parents, and attention received after entering the workplace. Clearly, a beautiful life has just begun. No. I want to survive. The foul smell emanating from the zombie's body penetrated into the nostrils of Chijima Yai. Seeing the massive body of the other person approaching, Qian Dao Yai couldn't help but kick her legs quickly, hoping to drive away the monster in front of her. Grasp the smooth tiles with both hands and try to stay away. It has no effect at all. It's only a matter of delaying death for at most 2 seconds. Qian Dao Yai understands very well that her only hope now is Yang Heng. The man standing at the door. She looked at Yang Heng and kept shouting loudly. Everyone is human, why can't you save me? Don't you feel guilty if I die in front of you? You really have the heart to see me die here. Yang Heng looked at the other person's sad and angry expression, completely speechless in his heart. Good guy. At this point, they are still morally kidnapping themselves. It seems like if I don't save her, I will definitely be punished by heaven. He said with a smile and anger. How can I save you? Just because you scold me for being cold-blooded and selfish. Everyone has received education, why are you so outstanding? So fond of generosity from others. Speaking, Yang Heng showed a disdainful expression. Not to mention a woman from the Sakura country, even if she appears in her own country's TV dramas, this kind of person is definitely the most harshly criticized. Even though I don't have the ability, I still insist on asking others to do this and that. It's like owing her 2 or 5 or 8,000 to oneself. Upon hearing Yang Heng's words, Qian Dao Yai's heart became even more desperate. The second order muscle zombie in front of her was getting closer and closer, and in just a few seconds, she could only die in the underworld. At this moment, Qian Dao Yai had only one thought in her heart. I can't die. I absolutely cannot die. She remembered when the end of the world had just arrived, her colleagues turned into zombies in front of her, while she locked her boss who had always been good to her outside the door. When she heard the cries for help and screams outside, she only had this thought in her heart. That is to say, one must never die. Although the righteousness spoken in her mouth is clear, Qian Dao Yai's heart is clearer than anyone else's. Dead is truly dead. Then everything is over. All beautiful things have nothing to do with oneself anymore. Please. Please help me. Qian Dao Yai couldn't resist anymore, and her fear of death filled her brain. She collapsed and shouted for help to Yang Heng. See this situation. Yang Heng sneered in his heart. Did you really suffer too little? However, he remained unmoved. Just coldly saying, this is your attitude of begging for help. And why should I save you? Yang Heng's words have repeatedly eroded the hope of Qiandao Yai. This time is no exception. However, the second order muscle zombie was less than 5 meters away from her. Qiandao Yai knows that if she dares to wait for herself like before, only death will come. She broke down and sobbed, her fear forcing her to let go of her previous arrogance. Climb towards the door with both hands and feet. Climb to Yang Heng's feet. Yes, I'm sorry. Please save me. As long as you are willing to save me, you can do whatever you want me to do. Upon hearing her pleading voice, tears of humiliation streamed down Qiandao Yai's eyes. Although still wearing a white uniform and slender high heels, the female white-collar worker died, and only Qiandao Yai was alive. Yang Heng smiled silently. Gently lift Qiandao Yai's delicate little face with your fingers. Remember what you said, he said softly. Then, he picked up his wolf tooth stick and walked towards the second order muscle zombie. Qiandao Yai quickly turned around. She wished that at this moment, both the man and the ugly zombie would perish. She also hoped that this man wouldn't die, at least she didn't have to worry about her own safety. Different emotions mixed together, making Qiandao Yai's eyes complicated. At this moment, Yang Heng did not pay any attention to this second order muscle zombie. Even the latter has not yet reacted. The wolf tooth stick has been lifted up in the air with its broken skull. Ding! Kill second-level zombies and obtain 1 random attribute point. Upon seeing this, Chijima Yai was shocked and opened her small mouth, but after a few seconds, she didn't close it. Yang Heng didn't care about her shock, just pressed her head and untied her waistband. Come on, he said lightly. Chapter 10 Yang Heng. If you want to follow me, you have to see. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Half an hour later. Qiandao Yai wiped the corner of her mouth. The melancholic gaze and the dried-up tears formed a strong contrast on her face. Her heart was filled with humiliation and resentment towards Yang Heng. In 26 years, he was the first person to dare to treat himself in this way. Qiandao Yai just wanted to bite it off directly. Thinking of this, she looked up. I didn't expect the man in front of me to be pretty, but actually a pervert. Still so rude. Just force it in and make her almost vomit. Yang Heng ignored Qiandao Yai's resentful gaze, but he was thinking in his heart that the system's evaluation was really accurate. Then he lifted his pants and prepared to leave. If I could run into 2 second-level zombies in this building consecutively, there might be other fish that missed the net. Now the first level can only provide experience points. Only second order can provide random attribute points. Facing Yang Heng, the first and second orders basically have no fighting power. By doing so, killing second-order mutated zombies naturally increases the speed of leveling up significantly compared to first-order ordinary zombies. I'm in a hurry and there are still many places that haven't been cleaned up. Strive to clean up this building before dark. After tidying up the loot in his clothes and backpack, Yang Heng strode out of this place. Qiandao Yai, who stayed in place, felt even more disheveled when she saw this scene. He just did something to me and decided to leave without me. Qiandao Yai opened her eyes wide and hurriedly said, You need to take me with you. Upon hearing this, Yang Heng stopped and turned his head in confusion. Why should I take you with me? Qiandao Yai's eyes widened again. She couldn't figure out how Yang Heng had the courage to ask such a question no matter what. She did everything she asked herself to do. Don't want to take care of it now. You untrustworthy little person. Just now you promised me that as long as I listen to you, you will protect me. Qiandao Yai angrily shouted, pointing at Yang Heng and trembling incessantly. Even his lips were trembling with anger, constantly opening and closing. Yang Heng snorted. He gently waved his hand and said, What I promised you earlier was to kill that zombie. Speaking, Yang Heng laughed. If you want to follow me, it depends on your performance. Qiandao Yai can't help but know what kind of performance he is talking about. My face turned red with a flash, and I couldn't even speak. She glared angrily at Yang Heng and said, "It's impossible. I absolutely can't do that kind of thing for you again. I'm not a pervert either. Since you're not willing, of course I won't force you." Yang Heng curled his lips. Looking at Qiandao Yai's appearance, we still need to educate him a few more times. Say it. Yang Heng really ignored Qiandao Yai this time and turned his head towards the distance. No matter how the other party shouted from behind, he didn't turn back, let alone stop. Qiandao Yai saw this scene and her heart suddenly became anxious. Damn it, this pervert wouldn't really want to leave me here alone. Qiandao Yai cursed softly, but quickly followed in Yang Heng's footsteps. She was very clear in her heart that without the strong protection of Yang Heng, she could not have left this place alive. With the lesson from the second order muscle zombie just now, she became even more afraid of this place. Similarly, Qiandao Yai followed behind Yang Heng, looking at the other person's back with both resentment and unwillingness, murmuring incessantly. Abnormal. Freaky. Cold-blooded and ruthless. Arrogant and selfish. Despicable and shameless. With Yang Heng's current strong physical fitness, even if Qiandao Yai's voice was very low, he could hear it all. Not only did I hear it, but I also heard it very clearly. But he didn't take care of it. Talking to women is a very unwise thing. There are still many dangers on the road, and if this woman continues to do so, he doesn't mind letting Qiandao Yai suffer more losses. If I had known, I would have left with the president. Although the president is not a good person, at least he is much stronger than this pervert. And those who can go there are people with power and influence, definitely safer than being around a pervert. Qiandao Yai clenched her fists tightly and kept waving at Yang Heng's back, complaining incessantly. Suddenly, she saw Yang Heng turn his head. "What did you say earlier?" Yang Heng asked without any emotion. "No. It's nothing. I really didn't slander you." Qiandao Yai was startled and quickly covered her mouth. Yang Heng frowned and asked impatiently, "I'm asking which side you're talking about, which side is it?" "Oh." Qiandao Yai breathed a sigh of relief in a low voice, but then thought again, "Didn't this monster hear you just now? That's the city center over there." At the beginning of the mutation, wealthy people like the president were taken away by the self-defense forces. There is security there, so I said that people with power and influence should be there. Such people can enjoy the best treatment no matter when. Of course, there are also some survivors who are physically strong and brave, either forming groups or going out to survive separately. She took it for granted that there was no problem with it. Yang fell silent. It seems that the Sakura government is not as incompetent as he thought. There are still some powerful individuals who were able to clean up the military's zombies and form a living force as soon as the mutation came. As for the strong survivors, he didn't think there was any problem. It is common in past and post-apocalyptic films to think of occupying land as king and building a human gathering place on one's own. Next, he did not ask Qiandao Yai again. After learning that Yang Heng's hearing was also very good, the latter stopped complaining in a low voice. God knows if this pervert will hold grudges and then let her do something indescribable. The office building is filled with various companies. Although Yang Heng cleaned up for a while and didn't find any food, he found many practical tools. For example, compasses and walkie-talkies. These are all necessities of life in the apocalypse. As for the things, of course they were handed over to Qiandao Yai to hold. Not long after, Yang Heng arrived at the 4th floor. This is an internet company with a lot of shooting equipment and video copy on its desk, which looks like it specializes in making short videos. Similar to the food exploration shops that Yang Heng often visited in his past life. Surprisingly, there is a paper map. Yang Heng carefully glanced at the map in his hand, which detailed the various regions of the city, with the busier ones marked out. This is a good thing. Yang Heng's heart was shaken, and then he searched even more carefully for a while. Suddenly, he laughed and found what he wanted. A recipe for Sichuan cuisine. Just as he was about to hand it to Qiandao Yai, he instructed her to take good care of it. Looking back, I found out. Qiandao Yai stood in place, her eyes becoming hollow.